My second guest on the show is a funny, wonderful, and amazing person. I've recently met him on Twitch, and he's one of the nicest people I've come across on the platform. He's from the UK, and he's also one of the funniest people I've met. His content can go
Oh,
from like chill, chaotic, to some chatters thirsting. Like literally, it's like you will never expect it. So Dan, or better known as DanVasion, welcome to episode 2 of
hello.
Twitch Tea Time.
Thank you.
In this space, we will talk about everything from gaming to Twitch, social media life, 2023, plans for 2024, as well as some mental health topics and more. And the topic we've chosen tonight for mental health is bullying. So just grab a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy. We're going to start with segment one, the road to Twitch and gaming. So, first things first, before I start, tell me, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's been a busy day, but a good one.
That's
Thank you.
fine. So, Dan, please tell us about how you discovered Twitch, how you decided to become a streamer, and how you took off.
hmm Basically, it was lockdown times. I
Hmm.
was feeling a little bit in need of a nostalgia hit. So I
Yeah,
decided, oh, I used to watch loads of Fortnite videos because Fortnite was kind of the game that, as it was starting up, I was really invested in, and
yeah,
it's kind of what started my gaming journey. So I watched some old creators that I used to watch, to kind of give me some memory,
hmm,
and then I kind of discovered from there about this, streaming site that I had very vaguely heard of in the past, but never
yeah,
really paid attention to. Twitch. I was like, okay, why don't I give this a go? Why don't I watch them and have a look? See what it's like. So I downloaded it. I watched them. It was cool,
hmm,
but it didn't feel like all that. And I thought there's something missing here. And then I thought, you know what? I think I should try this myself. So I did. I did, and I started out by streaming from my laptop, which
Oh,
was
wow.
facing my TV,
Yeah,
which was being played by my PS4. So it was like it was had no idea basically starting up, but
yeah.
that was almost the fun of it.
Yeah, so
But yeah,
your
that's where it
setup
started.
were like you had OBS running or you didn't know about OBS at the
Not
time?
at all. I had Twitch Studio. I was on my
Yeah,
old MacBook that could hardly run.
yeah,
It was facing my
yeah,
TV. It was a whole thing.
yeah. So basically straight from console.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, kind of like my start as well. So do you remember what was the first game you ever streamed?
The first game I ever streamed, yeah, it was that game of Fortnite.
Ah,
Literally, it
yeah,
was on my I was playing on my PS4,
yeah,
and it was on my TV, and I had my laptop facing the
yeah,
TV.
yeah,
So at that point, I hadn't even worked out how to stream via my
mm,
PS4.
yeah,
So it was a bit of a mess.
yeah. I can imagine that, especially the PS4 with its like a little bit like of a rough hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you decide on what content you're going to be streaming?
Well, I've always kind of been someone that likes to try different things. I try to never really stick to a certain niche. I try and make the niche myself in which that I do different things. So I kind of just went with what I enjoyed,
Yeah,
went with what I had a good time with, and that's still something I stick to today. I just try and do what I want to do. People definitely have opinions, that's fine. But at the end of the day, as long as you're doing things that you enjoy, that's what matters, in my opinion. So yeah, just doing
yeah,
things what I thought was fun and good.
yeah, 100%. So Twitch is a journey on its own. Can you tell us how you turned this journey into a fun one, amassing such wonderful people in your community?
I It's been a roller coaster for me as well, honestly. I've met so many different people, so many of which I haven't got on with, so many of which I have. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot, but being able to just be myself and radiate who I am and show myself to others, that's been beautiful. And being able to meet someone and then being able to meet someone from them and someone from them, and it kind of grows like a family tree almost.
Yeah,
Being able to have experience and be experiencing that currently, it's lovely.
Yeah.
And I always, no matter how much production value I had, and how much more I'm gonna have, as time progresses, no matter where I'm at with it, I always just try and be me, and entertain and make people happy.
Yeah, it can be a little bit of like of an anxiety trigger sometimes. Like, oh my God, I want to discover like new people, want to raid this new channel, but like you feel
Definitely.
anxious. I can English, anxious about their like, how are they gonna receive you? How are they welcoming? Are they mean? Are they
Yeah.
toxic? Yeah,
That's it. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't take any offense to someone thinking this or that of me. In my life, what
mhm,
matters is that I love who I am and I love what I'm doing. Obviously, I don't want to expose anybody to nasty people, but if someone
yeah,
did ever target me, of course, which they have, and I'm sure everyone's felt this way with someone before, I personally, I don't care.
mhm,
I've got a pretty thick skin,
yeah,
so I understand that, obviously, and as streamers, we all understand that we're going to run into people we don't get on with. We're going to run into problems, but it doesn't mean that we should ever take any focus off of all the amazing things that we've been able to experience as well.
yeah. I can vouch for that myself. I've been a mod for like a channel and discover that they have some toxic spikes at some points. So they kind of like went and unmodded me, or like without even
Hmm.
telling me like, okay, you've been doing this. They know I have impulsivity and ADHD and those, but like they didn't tell me like, okay, you bothered me on this case, or you did this on this case, or for example, you've
But
been,
that's it. It's all about
yeah,
communication.
yeah. They just went and unmodded me like out of nowhere, which I felt kind of like rude, but yeah, life is life. So, as I said, the gaming world can be both fun and tiring. It's a place where you can encounter lots of people, as you also said. Some can be a pain and some can be amazing. In your chat, you've encountered a lot of people, like of all kinds. Um,
Hmm.
you actually have stories that happened with you. What is one thing that you remember that was like out of the blue, or like, for example, like one chatter weirdly coming into chat saying something very weird, funny, not toxic or mean or like worth of deleting.
I actually had, in my last stream, my most recent stream, I had someone come in, and the first thing they said was, "You look like you eat lemon rinds for a living."
What?
I was very confused. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it came from, but honestly, I respected it. I said, "I don't even care if you're trying to troll me. That is genuinely funny." And I actually credited them for um making the sub goal of the day, because it was to eat a lemon rind. You
Wow.
know, um,
Yeah.
you got to take inspiration from it. But no, there have been people before that say just very, very odd, very random things. But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that is the online platform. You're openly putting yourself out there
Hmm.
for anyone to see, and express their opinion.
Yeah. Well, I've had kind of like a weird encounter myself one time. One chatter came in and told me like, you kind of look like what's his name, lead singer of Queen. Um,
Freddie
Freddie
Mercury.
Mercury. Yeah, he told me like you look a little bit like Freddie Mercury. I was like, well, thank you. And then I discovered that he's in a channel, or he's like one of the people in a channel I follow. I'm like, I've seen you before.
uh
Yeah, that was funny. So, what is one thing that you learned from being on Twitch, and what are the benefits of the platform?
One thing I learnt would probably be, well, obviously there are so many things, but I, on a positive note, I would say it's always good to express yourself.
Yeah.
And I think in society, so many people do, like, kind of, I don't know, they kind of don't express themselves as much as they should. A lot of people suppress themselves because they're scared of what people are going to think. And I think having, the platform that I have, and that so many of us are happy, to have,
Yeah.
has really helped me just not. I mean, I can just do things and not even think about what someone's gonna think
Yeah.
or someone's gonna say or this like and that's definitely something. It's definitely something that I already kind of had in my inventory, but it's definitely helped grow and develop that
Yeah.
understanding, as well as being able to tell other people that and help other people with that as well.
Yeah. So how
Mhm.
oh, uh, sorry.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
So how do you deal with toxic people in your chat?
I can't, if it's really bad, it will just be gone.
Mhm.
Um, Although sometimes I'll question it. Sometimes I will just give a comment back asking like, what's this? Who's that? Where's this come from?
Yeah.
I usually don't see it as that big of a deal. I again, I'm really not bothered by that kind of stuff. It doesn't affect me because I've been through so much already that it doesn't hit me in any
Yeah.
way at all. So I kind of will just make almost like make a fun out of it, make comedy out of it, make something at least light-hearted out of it. But
Yeah.
if it is really bad, then it will just be an immediate like I will just immediately ban the person.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's what I would say.
So let's talk a little bit about your mods. Can you tell us about how you encounter each of them? A little bit of like, let's call it mod lore.
Well, to be honest, it kind of this is one of the other things that I find super interesting about Twitch when you think about it. I kind of just met they just kind of it almost just happened, and it's
Mm.
it's really odd. I think with a lot of people on the platform, you do kind of just think that's just kind of how it works. You just kind of find them. Like one of my mods I found literally just from streaming. They just came across me. And then I met one from a mutual. Um and then I also met one from me being on the For You page on
Mhm.
TikTok. So, it really does um exaggerate just how important it is to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just happens sometimes, and you develop these bonds, and then end up
Yeah.
with them, and modding for you and being a really really good friend.
Yeah. So what are your limits regarding your streams? Like what would piss you off? What's the big no-no? What's allowed in your channel and what isn't?
Um, I think there's obviously a lot to talk about in regards to that, and I think the general thing I would say is just be a good human. Like if you are putting something in chat that you know is going to hurt somebody, including potentially yourself, or bring someone down or comment on someone's appearance in any way. If you're going to do anything pretty much that brings about negativity, that's not okay in my space. My
Yeah.
space is all about positivity. And of course that doesn't mean, of course that doesn't mean not acknowledging feelings.
Yeah.
Because I am a very big advocate of mental health and sharing how I feel. I'll share how I feel when I'm not feeling good with my chat. I'll say, look, I'm not going to go on about it for too long, but this is what's happening. This is how I'm feeling. It
Yeah.
doesn't reflect on anybody. It's okay to communicate, but when someone does it with the intent of bringing someone down, or being rude, then that's not okay in my space.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk now about gaming. What games have you finished already?
I have gone through Fallout, Cyberpunk, Skyrim. I
Oh,
played through
wow.
GTA. Yeah,
GTA 5 and which Fallout?
5. Yeah, Fallout 4.
Ah, because there's also 76, there's also 3.
Yeah, I still need to do 76.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how do you define gaming to be for you?
It's a roller coaster. It's
Yeah.
it's a beautiful world of chaos and lights and guns and futuristic scenes and jump scares. There's so much going on, and I think you know it's
Yeah.
always important to remember not to take games for granted because they are really special. We
Yeah.
really they allow us to immerse ourselves in this different world of whatever the fuck is going on, and
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, and gaming has. made more of an impact on my life than I would, think when I just am going through my day. When you really take a minute to think about it, um,
Yeah,
you realize that they really do have quite the influence.
100%. So, what can we expect from you on Twitch in the future?
I just want to keep improving, to be honest. I want to keep varying my content up, trying loads of different things. I want to do um fun variety kind of streams with connected with the community, like talent shows, game shows. I want to keep playing through games that I enjoy,
Nice.
karaoke streams, just making loads of fun different things happen. I just want to keep being me, and keep having fun, keep meeting people and doing what I love.
That's good. Also, what are two of your favorite games ever? I know it's a hard question.
Cyberpunk
Oh,
and Resident Evil Village.
nice. Do you prefer first person or third person games?
Ideally, I would go for a first person. I just
Mhm.
like the feeling of immersive gameplay, but I like third person too. But first person if I had to choose.
Nah, I prefer third person more, but first person it's like some games I'm okay with.
Hmm.
Um, so how many hours per day or week do you spend on Twitch?
Oof, quite a lot. Quite a lot. It depends on the day, because there are some days where I'm super busy. Um, but on a day where I am on it a lot, it could be up to maybe 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours.
Oh wow.
On a day where I'm busy, usually I'll, do my thing, get home, get on my PC about 10 o'clock and probably
Mhm.
go up to bed about 2. So 11, 12, 1, 2, so 4 hours. I
Oh
would
wow.
say at least 3 to 4 hours a day, roughly, but it can be
Mhm.
more, can be a little less.
Yeah. So what are the games or what games you would never see yourself playing or streaming?
Oh, I think some kind of
Mm,
some indie games, some like how do you call them? Like the simulator games and some of the farming games. Like they're very cute,
yeah.
but sometimes for me they just get a bit similar, and a
Repetitive.
bit tiring. Yeah, they definitely they become quite a lot, and
Yeah.
it's so much of the same thing going on that it's like I would rather choose one of those to get a lot of experience and game time on rather than play loads of different similar types of games.
Yeah. So this is one of the questions I was gonna ask you. Like, what's your alone time game? Like, what game you just shut the world off and just play on your own?
Honestly, I don't really play that much on my own. If I have to choose one, I
Mhm.
usually play Overwatch on my own.
Oh.
And a lot of the reason for that is because it's a big comfort game for me.
Mhm.
I was a fan of Overwatch um, when I was going through some really tough times in my life.
Yeah.
So it remains a comfort game for me, and it remains um, just as it just serves as a purpose, to help me get through things. It's just how it's always been, I think.
Yeah. Like for me, it's like Pokemon games. For example, like lately I've
Hmm.
been doing Lego Fortnite off stream, like on my
Yeah,
friend's
that's
server.
fun.
Yeah. So to the new people out there who are just starting to stream or like thinking about it, what's one advice you'd give them?
I would say I could easily give them advice on design, but talking about
Yeah.
like actual ways of thinking about Twitch,
Hmm.
I mean design wise I would say don't put all the recent sub and follower. Don't basically you want your stream to be you. You want to see you or the game. And a lot of new streamers have their kind of stream filled with tons of I don't know, tons of different add-ons, and it's okay to have some,
Yeah.
but you want it to mainly be you. But mentally in coming to Twitch, I would say be prepared. Be prepared to be in dealings with some nasty people.
Definitely.
It not necessarily meaning that you have to engage in that, but
Hmm.
be prepared to face some insults or
Oh
some
yeah.
comments. and know what to do in that situation. Don't, try and educate yourself with what to do, what button to press, how to
Mhm.
act
Yeah.
before, so you know what you're doing when it happens or if it happens.
Yeah. So you mentioned like design. I'm pretty sure you've come across like a few graphic artists, like designers coming into your chat. Of course, mostly when you started streaming,
Oh, yeah.
offering you help and those things. How do you deal with these?
Well, I used to get mad at them, but
Mhm.
now I make it fun. Again, I make it fun. So what I will do is when they'll come into my chat, I'll say, "Ah," and once I've clocked it, I'll go, "Okay, okay, yeah, that sounds great," and I will basically try and milk their viewership for as long as possible. I will make them
Oh
beg for me to
wow.
check their for me to check their art out on Discord, and they'll sit there and they'll wait and they'll give me that extra viewership. And
Wow.
pardon me. And when they finally realize that, oh wait, this guy actually doesn't care,
You
then
wasted
they
your
go off.
time.
And I feel like
Yeah,
yeah,
you
that's
wasted their
that
time.
is what they deserve for all the shit they put loads of other streamers through.
Yeah.
So that's what I do, and it's quite funny.
I mean, I myself, I'm not against them being artists, but like it's getting way out of control. Like I've had a lot of them adding me like randomly going into servers during streams. Some of them didn't even say hello in stream or anything. Like they just go on servers of my own, servers I mod for, start adding people, start DMing people. Like those things are out of control. How do you think?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, the issue is they're seeking money. That's not that's the thing. It's not like a genuine artist to me because they are asking you for money straight away.
Yeah.
They're asking you to buy their product. They're not advertising it. Because if they're advertising it, it'll be on their social media. You notice how good artists very rarely will come and DM
Mhm.
you personally asking for the product. They
Yeah,
probably don't even make any of it themselves. And even if they
yeah,
do, most of the time it is not a good product, especially for the price. So that's the issue I have with that.
yeah. Especially if they have like scam links or like dangerous links sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I've had like randos lately whispering me on Twitch like, hey, what games do you play? I'm like, do I know you?
100. I
Yeah.
have 7 friend requests as we speak.
Wow. I'm honored you accepted mine. All right, we're gonna go into a fun segment now, which is segment two.
Ooh,
I called it lightning round, which is basically more like a pop quiz about you. Um,
okay.
so you can answer like with just small answers. You could just
Yeah,
give
yeah,
like very vague answers. I don't mind.
sure.
So, do you mind telling me and the listeners what's your daily routine? Like something you always like to do every day that has become a regular thing to you?
Drink a copious amount of coffee.
Wow.
I
I'm
need
gonna
it.
ask you. Yeah, I'm gonna ask you that. Like, do you prefer coffee or tea or juice?
I have to say, I've
Well,
got to say coffee.
well, yeah.
Unless it's a really nice juice like cherry juice, then
Ooh,
I'll go with like juice. But like coffee is where it's at.
yeah. So, what's your favorite meal or food of all time? Like your comfort food?
Oh, it's so hard to choose one, but I absolutely love lasagna.
Oh my God, Garfield. Yeah. Mine would be, and some people are gonna like shun me for that, but I don't care. It's like pineapple pizza. So,
Ooh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
So, what's one thing you tell to yourself very often?
I love you. I tell myself I love myself because it
Interesting.
helps me get through things.
Nice. So, you go and give yourself like pep talks in front of the mirror, or you just like openly say it to yourself?
Yeah, I openly say it to myself all the time because
That's nice.
it's probably the main thing in my life that's helped me stay
Yeah,
strong.
that's good. If you ever were to be any creature, mythical, real, alive, not alive, what would you be and why?
I would love to be. Well, can we choose a specific like person?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think I would have to go with Aladdin, and
Oh,
then
wow.
because I would play the genie. I would play the genie at his own game. I would find a way to get those infinite wishes.
Okay. Yeah. That's an interesting answer. Like, why specifically that?
But I mean, access to the genie, of course.
Ooh. So, as I said, you're a wonderful, funny, and positive person. I want to
Thank
know
you.
when someone in real life is being toxic, how do you deal with their energy?
Okay, um firstly make sure they're not being a threat physically or mentally. Mentally it can
Yeah,
still definitely count. I make sure they're not being a threat. If they are leaving me alone and not directly confronting me,
yeah,
then I will literally just ignore them. They are not important. They have nothing, no hold over me, no power in my life. I'm very easily able to block things out
yeah,
when I need to. In the case that someone might be saying something or doing something, however, I will do whatever I have to do to make sure it's dealt with. So depending on the situation, of course,
yeah,
but I will deal with it. I will confront it head on.
yeah,
Because I definitely think that it's not okay to let things, let people be toxic.
yeah,
But I'm very good at cutting bullshit away. And if
yeah,
if it's not directly affecting me, I can very easily just leave it and say goodbye. I'm not
yeah,
involving myself in this.
yeah.
And I always try and trust my gut.
So, what's your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve. My biggest pet peeve is when people talk down to others and
Yeah,
about others.
yeah. So, okay, let's assume this was the last day on Earth ever. What would you do and how would you spend it?
I would take off all my clothes and run around the
Oh,
London
wow.
streets screaming "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston
Oh my God.
with a Big Mac and a
I,
banana milkshake.
I could see myself doing that. See, I've told myself that this is gonna be a fun interview and never deceive myself. I would actually do that, but I would put on like an no offense though, but like an afro curly wig, like act like either I don't know, what's her name, Whitney Houston. If I want to do that, and actually embrace Whitney Houston.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Um. So, what is one thing you cannot live without?
Oh well, I should be cliche and say my PC.
Yeah, same. That's not a cliche.
I need it. It's my baby.
Yeah. So what's the first thing you do when you first wake up?
I drink a cup of coffee.
Oh, well, I should have
Yeah.
seen that coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what do you think is the worst invention ever?
The gun.
Wow, I agree. So what's your utmost favorite game to play? And what's your least favorite? We've spoken about that, but like I want to know like what's your top favorite game, either off stream or on stream, other than Overwatch.
Absolutely 100% Cyberpunk is my favorite game of all time.
Have you tried modding it?
Least favorite. Oh, I haven't. I would love to try that one day though.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Least favorite? Honestly, Starfield. I
Oh,
really didn't. Maybe I needed to give it more time.
Yeah.
but I just didn't get on with the game. It was boring me.
Yeah. To me, it would be the worst one ever that I would like. I'm not yucking anybody's yum actually, but like Call of Duty. I don't see myself ever
Oh, fair,
going
fair.
near that game. Uh, One of my all-time favorites, like a guilty pleasure, would be funny enough. Anything that has to do with like something similar to like maybe House Flipper, Power Wash, like those
Okay,
games.
yeah.
Yeah.
They can
Um,
be nice and chill.
So, in your opinion, which video game gave you so much trouble that you died a lot and you almost rage quit?
Oh, Elden Ring.
I can
I'm
see
currently
that.
playing through yeah, I'm currently playing through Elden Ring and it's
Oh my
actually going really well, but this
Yeah.
is my third attempt. So I'll let you guess what happened on the other two attempts. So it's been over a span of 2 years. I'm finally managing on Elden Ring, but it's been a whole roller coaster.
Let me guess. You sang Whitney Houston on the first two.
Exactly. Exactly.
How far are you into the game?
I'd say I'm maybe nearing halfway.
That's nice. What is one thing you spend a lot of money on besides games?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Probably. I would say subscriptions in the sense of like anything on Twitch or for Twitch or socials, like editing software, like supporting my friends, like Discord Nitro, anything like that. I spend a lot of
Yeah.
money per month on all of those kind of things.
Yeah. Well, that's a thing I should control, and I'm trying to lately. Like, I get my Twitch payouts, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna like get myself stuff using them, and then I end up like spending them all on subscriptions.
It's so easy to, yeah.
It's like temptation, no. Yeah. So, if you were stranded on an island, you could only take 3 things or 2 things and a person with you. What would you take, or who would you take, and why?
I would take. Well, if only I could say genie in a magic lamp, hey? I would.
Christina Aguilera, genie in a bottle. Yeah.
Oh, who would I take?
Or what? It's up to you.
Well, if I was to think smartly, I would take a boat. I would take a little boat just to big enough that I could fit in a paddle.
Or a raft, maybe.
Maybe a raft, yeah. Something that will float, something that I can get out of the island and find more land with. And then a paddle, and then either some form of food or my mother.
Oh. Wow. I did not expect that.
She's strong. She's strong.
Of course. What's one of your all-time favorite songs?
Ooh, all-time favorite songs. I think I've lately been listening to "Criminal" by Britney Spears.
Oh my god, yeah.
That always hits.
Yeah. Well, of course, I think you don't know, but like everybody that knows me knows that I'm like a simp for Kelly Clarkson. So anything Kelly Clarkson would do. But funny enough, my favorite song of all times is Midnight City by M83.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah. And I've been jamming to Yes and by Ariana Grande for some reason.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So, has anyone ever recognized you from Twitch when you were like out with either your friends, by yourself, or with family?
I have had one interaction. I was in London, and someone just like looked at me and was like, "Is that you?" And then it kind of just went from there. It was kind of awesome. It was kind of awesome, and it was a bit like, it made me kind of blink my eyes almost and be like, "Whoa, hold on a minute." But yeah, that happened once. It was amazing.
Yeah, I would probably like maybe look behind me to see if like they're talking to someone else, be in a shock like me. So, where do you see yourself in a few years from now?
I definitely want to continue progressing with my socials. I just want to keep to my schedules and keep bringing out new content, keep meeting people. So yeah, hopefully, obviously,
Yeah,
Twitch partner. But honestly, over partner, I prefer the idea of just having fun and growing my community. I don't see it as a thing I would obsess over. Just as long as I'm doing well, having fun, growing,
yeah,
as well as on Twitch and socials, as well as physically, with my gym, and in my career as well as an actor. I would hope to make
yeah,
some big moves there. So honestly, just hopefully making good change, good progress, and moving up in all of those aspects of my life.
well, fingers crossed on that aspect. What is one thing you tell others very often?
You can do this.
Nice. If you weren't a gamer and if you weren't on Twitch, where would you be?
Who knows? If I tell you this, I'd be a very different person.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe I would have taken on, like, if I wasn't in the audiovisual, like, all this industry, I would probably like to be a chef or a cook.
Ooh.
So, besides gaming, what's your all-time favorite hobbies?
I love playing tennis
Nice.
and
Uh,
cooking.
any specific meal you like to cook?
A bit of everything, to be honest, but anything with pasta always hits.
Ooh, yeah. I tend to veer away from pasta and those, but if I could say, that's a very cliche answer. I'm gonna tell now. I like beans with rice.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, what's the worst thing that ever happened to you in your life?
Phew. Oh, well, there are plenty of things that have happened,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
of which I can share.
yeah,
I would
of course.
probably say some dealings I had with people
Mhm.
when I was younger.
Yeah,
It was some pretty bad bullying.
which we are gonna be talking more vaguely about in the third segment, hopefully. So, tell us one embarrassing moment or one funny moment that you can't forget. It's your choice.
Ooh, probably when I fell over on stream.
Uh,
I was just doing my thing. I stood up, I got ready to sit down,
yeah,
and actually I fully slipped. I just went.
yeah.
And I think, yeah, that's probably happened more than once, but that happening always makes me laugh when I think about it.
I think it's in one of your like raid videos or one of your clips. I've seen it on your channel. Yeah,
It is actually, I'm pretty sure.
yeah. That's the first thing that came to my mind when you said that. So, what would you do with $100,000 or £100,000?
I would firstly save some. Then
Of
I would
course.
probably think about where would be the smartest ways or places to put it. Um, yeah, I definitely save some.
Yeah.
Put some more to the side for certain things. But yeah, I would divvy it up. I would divide it into different portions for different things like leisure,
Nice.
and like things that can help me with my career.
Yeah. So, what's one thing you would like to change about your life currently?
Nothing. I love who I am, and
Nice.
I think I see my life as as a journey unique to me. So I wouldn't want to change anything.
That's nice. So if you would go back in time, what choice would you not have made?
Telling people in real life that I streamed.
And why is that?
Because you do end up finding out that people can be really, really nasty.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I never would like tell anybody at my job that I stream. I would sneakily do it, but I've done it before, sneakily. But I would never let them know that I stream, especially people
Mhm.
here, like even
Mhm.
my friends. So, what's one big red flag you can't handle in person?
Yeah, I would say again, like when they talk down about people, when they're rude about people,
Yeah,
when they comment on someone's appearance or the
yeah,
decisions they make in their life, that always puts
yeah,
me off somebody very quickly.
yeah. So, what's your favorite movie of all time?
Kill Bill,
One or two, or both?
both, but one.
Nice, nice. What's one thing you wish Twitch would implement, change, and or remove, and why?
I think they should not give ads to mods. I think they should work on their UI more so that it actually shows the correct amount of viewers for who's in the chat. I think they should fix bugs quicker rather than wait for a week, because there have been countless times I've had bugs which they don't fix.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and I think they should get rid of certain rules in their TOS, or maybe even make some more that prevent things happening that a lot of people that abuse rules like to make. For example, this whole topless rule thing
yeah.
that was so it really just it was devaluing the platform. So there are many things that I feel they need to work on improving.
I mean, I'm not against it.
That's fair.
Yeah. So if your life was ever to be either a movie, a TV show, or a video game, what would it be named and why?
Or it would probably be named Dantastic.
Wow, I love that. If you had one special superpower, what would it be and why? And how would you use it?
Ooh, probably invisibility.
Nice.
I would use it to go wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and
Yeah.
also jump scare some people.
Of course. Mine is kind of similar. It's like teleportation, but of course, don't give
Okay.
it to everybody. Like, give it to certain people that really
Yeah.
need it. Soda, juice, or sparkling drinks.
Oh, probably sparkling.
Nice. Red, white, or rose wine.
Probably red. Yeah,
Nice.
red.
White for me, of course.
hmm
What's one quote you can't forget or have seen or heard and go by?
It's scary to be judged, but it's even scarier to get to the end of your life and realize that you let others control your decisions.
Nice. Nice. There's one quote by Madonna, I assume, that I kind of like clicked with. Poor is the man whose authority or whose like pleasure depends on like the acceptance of others or something like that.
hmm
Yeah, that clicked with me on so many levels. Um,
Mm.
If you could choose where you would be born, what country would you pick and why?
Probably the UK, which is where I was born,
Yeah,
or the US.
nice.
Maybe
Uh,
Canada.
oh, yeah, it's a little bit cold up there.
Mhm.
Yeah. What's your all-time? Who's your all-time celebrity crush?
Oh, there are so um, oh, it's very tough to choose one, but
Yeah. Well, give me a top three if you want.
oh, I mean, Angelina Jolie. To be honest, yeah, that's who I'll choose. Yeah,
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie.
Female wise, of course, I'm not straight, but like, I could see myself if it ever was to happen, but I know it wouldn't happen. Probably dating Kat Dennings, which I would
Okay.
like go out of my comfort zone and do.
Yeah.
And males, Charlie Puth. I don't know why.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you had the chance to switch lives with one celebrity from today, who would you pick and why?
If I had to choose, I would probably. Wow. I'd probably choose a big streamer. I'd be curious to see what that would be like.
Any specific streamers on your mind?
Not in particular. Probably someone that wasn't too problematic.
Yeah, well,
which when talking about big streamers is usually quite rare, but
yeah.
someone with influence.
Well, if I had to choose like streamers, I would go with Call Me Kevin. He's the reason I'm here. So I discovered all this.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like kind of like my gaming idol, if we can say that.
Yeah.
So since the new year is already here and like January is already over, or gonna be over soon, what are some of your plans for 2024 in games, not only for Twitch? Like what games do you want to play?
Wise, I just want to keep broadening my horizons with games and going out my comfort zone, playing things I wouldn't usually play. So I'm honestly just going to keep trying to knock off games off my wish list.
Nice. Can you name two of these games?
Far Cry 6 and Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
Oh my god. My friend was playing that yesterday and like we kept jump scaring him. And I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
sorry,
It looks so fun.
with the kappa face. Yeah. Using one or two words, how would you describe 2023?
Roller coaster.
Mine would be like fuck off. That's how I want to tell 2023 actually. What event or events have impacted your life in 2023?
Wow, a lot. I mean, I got some big jobs, some big progressions in acting. I got some big
nice.
partnerships with streaming as well.
Nice.
I joined the stream team.
Nice.
There are many good things that have happened this year, and it almost doesn't feel like it's all been 1 year, last year. Things like that.
Okay, that is segment 2 done. So now we're gonna talk about mental health. And as I said in episode 1, in this segment we will be talking about mental health and some sensitive subjects. I apologize in advance for any heavy or triggering terms that might be used. Mental health is not an easy subject to talk about. Today we're gonna speak about bullying, as Dan chose. My guest journey has had this. Either he witnessed or had it happen to him. We're gonna discover. So, as I said, and I'm gonna say it again, some subjects might be triggering or heavy. So be well prepared as you listen and feel free to either skip or dip out on this segment. Totally your choice. If you feel uncomfortable about some subjects, you can just skip it. This also applies to future episodes too, so listen at your own risk or will. So Dan, this is kind of like a improvised segment. So I've asked you which mental health or experience you want to talk about, and you chose bullying. Why? Is there any specific reason?
Well, bullying has been something that has completely, changed my way of thinking in life. I have been lucky, or well, I say lucky, not
Yeah,
necessarily. I've been strong enough to choose the right path and choose to not let people stop me and choose to continue fighting for what I want. But I've also seen so many people do the opposite and let people get to
yeah,
them and let bullies' words hurt them. And not only have I experienced it, you know, and got through it, but I've also seen others go through the experience of it as well.
hmm,
And I want to make sure that as few people as possible experience that kind of
yeah,
behavior, and if they do, that they're able to get out of it without
yeah.
being affected.
Um, do you happen to recall any experience that you went through that either traumatized you, left an impact on you, or even might not have happened with you? Like you've witnessed it happening to other people?
Well, I have had many kind of things, but one of
Yeah,
the biggest things that stuck with me was when a group of nasty and jealous people, they once just came into my stream, and they knew that my stream was a private place and that I didn't want them there. We never got on before anyway, and yeah, they just decided
yeah,
to come in there and say some nasty things. And unfortunately, I had to see these people almost every day. I was in the work environment with them,
oh wow.
and they had no issue with doing this
Mhm.
and calling me these names in real life. Um, I wasn't the person then that I am now,
Yeah,
to such a degree. Um, so I was scared and I didn't know what to say, and I, just took it. I took it,
mhm.
and these days I wouldn't. These days I would fight it back, but I was scared. I was very scared, and
Yeah,
it made such. I mean, the amount of good lessons that I learned about, from this, about staying strong, about being brave, about loving myself. I was on my own,
yeah,
IRL. I was on my own dealing with that. And I taught myself to be strong.
yeah,
And that's why self-love for me is such an important thing in my life now,
yeah,
because I was almost forced to be in such a position where I had to, push
yeah,
myself through the kind of horrible behavior I was receiving. And I did. And I said, I'm not going to let anyone stop me. And I kept pushing through and achieving things. And as my community, is growing
yeah,
and grew stronger and is growing stronger, it weakened them even more,
yeah,
and you have to see past
mhm,
people's, reasons, or no, you have to see past people's words, and instead see their reasons, I should say,
yeah,
for why they're doing it.
yeah,
And once you understand the reasons behind what they're doing, you realize, well, actually, they're jealous, or they're angry, or they have their own reasons in life why
yeah,
they're being this way,
yeah,
and then it doesn't
100%.
hurt as much.
100%. I kind of also dealt with that, like growing up and such. Like having been bullied at school, like just because of my voice, or maybe because of how I act, or my like orientation and stuff, to an extent where it became physical as well.
Oh gosh.
I've had a bully like try to like rub my like the back of my head against the wall, but luckily enough, the one of them like the playground monitor, like the people who monitor the playgrounds, just happened to have been passing by and caught him in the act, and he always like poked fun at me for my orientation. But guess what? Karma is a bitch, so he became what he
Wow.
dreaded. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, that's it. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the thing. I don't see the reason. A big quote that I
Hmm.
have remembered from when I was going through this kind of thing was, if someone is truly happy with who they are, they won't ever see the need to talk badly about
Yeah.
another,
Yeah.
unless that is the truth. And there's a
Yeah.
big difference between talking shit about someone and talking the truth about a shitty person.
That is exactly that. But let's say you are on the streets with friends, and one of your friends, let's not say weak, but like doesn't have the capacity to defend, or let's not say even a friend, a person being bullied on the street, how would you react? Would you like help them? Would you like just call some reinforcements? How would you deal with it?
Well, firstly, I would assess the situation. If it was safe for me to step in, then I would.
Hmm.
And I would make it very clear that it was not okay.
Yeah,
And I would try and help that person as
yeah,
much as I could.
yeah. Let's say you mentioned about like acting roles and stuff. Would you ever uh, play a role of a bully if you ever were told to?
Oh yeah, I've played the role of
Mhm.
abusive people.
Oh wow.
I've played some very dark roles, and a lot of the time I have to check with the people that I'm acting with, like just make sure they know that it's an act, and
Yeah,
make sure they're okay. That because yes, it's acting, and people know it's acting, but at the
yeah,
same time, you got to be prepared that someone might be feeling a certain way about it, even if they know it's an act. They might have had their own experiences in life
yeah,
that make them think of this or that that's happened, and you got to be sure. But yeah, no, I've done some dark roles.
yeah. So I don't think there's like much comparison between like moral bullying and physical bullying, but like how does each of them uh, impact someone in your opinion?
Well, I think one can just lead into another. Unfortunately, once it's reached a certain point with some people, they feel like it's just
Mhm.
a part of their life and that they should
Yeah,
just accept that it's there. And that's never the case.
yeah,
It's never acceptable behavior. It's never okay.
yeah,
And neither, no forms of bullying at all, none of them should ever be okay.
yeah,
But especially not physical. When you're causing physical harm, that is properly wrong.
mhm,
Um, as much as the mental side of it is bad, and can have just as bad of an impact, if you are physically harming someone, you can be put into jail. You can be,
yeah,
um, you can do time for that.
yeah,
And you just shouldn't ever hit someone unless you absolutely have to, in my opinion.
yeah. Uh, Maybe like what I'm gonna say right now is like a little bit like borderline triggering. So some of the viewers should be like even more um, aware. But what I want to say is like some of the people that have been or that are being bullied, uh, some of them go to very big extremes, like such as maybe shootings and killing other people, or maybe self-harm. How would like, in your opinion, how would you deal with that, or how do you see that?
Obviously, I see that as wrong. People should never ever
Yeah,
feel the need to resort to any form of harm on themselves or others, but unfortunately
yeah,
it is it's a thing.
mhm,
It's almost made to be accepted in this society, which is horrible.
yeah,
But I would obviously urge anyone, don't hurt yourself, especially because of somebody else. There's
yeah,
always another way.
yeah. Let's say you have to like deal again. Let's go back to the topic where you have to like maybe step up for someone being bullied, but like instead of helping that person that's being bullied, let's say I would personally ask the bully, like, why are you doing this? If I had the chance to, like, would you do that? What led you into
I
doing this?
definitely would. I think, once you make them realize what they're doing, why they're doing it, um, sometimes people just don't think.
Mhm.
Sometimes people don't
Yeah,
realize what they're saying and doing is hurting somebody.
yeah,
And that's all plays a big part in why people should be educated.
yeah. Do you think it's also due sometimes to impulsivity? Maybe?
I think it depends. I would say usually with bullying there is good reason, and it's not
Yeah,
usually wouldn't think based off of complete impulse, um, unless there's some kind of outstanding circumstances that cause someone to act on a quick decision to
Yeah,
hurt somebody consistently, which would be even more sickening.
yeah. So I'm gonna kind of like wrap up everything and say that I enjoyed this whole interview, and I really wish it wouldn't end. But sadly, that's all the time I can give. And thank you for
No
being
worries.
here.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for giving me some of your time. Thank you for sharing
Yeah.
everything with.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. And all I want to say again is like, if you want to follow Dan, if you want to like know what he's up to, I will link his channel, or at least try to link his channel in the description on YouTube. But I can't do that on on Spotify and other platforms. You can find him if you type in DanVasion, like invasion instead of in. Type in DanVasion, DanVasion, I think. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So he's on Twitch. If I recommend checking him out. As I said, it goes from like silly chaotic to like what the fuck moments that make you laugh your heart out. So basically one of the best content on Twitch, honestly.
Oh, thank you.
I really enjoyed it, and I hope I'll see you around, Dan.
Yeah, it was lovely. Thank you. Take care.
Any last words you want to say to the listeners?
Love yourself and have an awesome day.
Yes, exactly. Dan, before